What up? Watching another episode of Dallas Ebonix where we talk black. And I got my good brother here, you know what I'm saying? He gonna introduce himself and to let him know, what all you got going.
All right. Well, man, I'm just glad to be here, man, on Talk Black, man. When I saw your episodes, man, and that's all you doing, man. You talking black about black people. So it wasn't nothing for me to come through to do this, man. But my name is Edwin Robinson. I would say, every now and then people call me Reverend. But I'm one of the founders of a Dallas civil rights organization called Dallas Black Clergy for safety, equity, and justice. You can find us at dallasblackclergy.com. We just a bunch of black pastors, man, that decided that we was going to be pastors, not just, some of them have churches. I don't have like a building or anything like that, you know what I mean? I would say people call me pastor. But we just decided we was going to be pastors everywhere, man. And so you can check us out at dallasblackclergy.com. Our two main issues are economic justice and voting rights, man. And we believe that if we can get those two things together, particularly for black people in our city, that we can change a whole lot of stuff, man, for our city and maybe be an example for other people, other places, man. So that's what we do.
So I rock with that. All right. So we're just gonna jump into it. One of my main concerns, specifically out here in Dallas, is that, and really just nationwide, a lot of our people have this acquiescent mindset, like they've just kind of accepted white supremacy as the law of the land and as the dominant race. What is it that we can do as a people to kind of break that just complacent mindset and kind of get our people out here ready to kind of do some work? Because there's a lot going on right now.
Yeah, man, that's big, bro. I think it's like two things happening at the same time, man. The consciousness of people, man. We were just rapping about it on the inside, man. When you're born in something, you know what I mean? Like, as we were using the metaphor of a fish born in water, right? If a fish is born in dirty water, right, all it knows is dirty water. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I think the reality is our country is shaped and made and fashioned in white supremacy. So that means every one of us who are born into this country, it is the air we breathe, it's the water we drink, it's the food we eat, it's the way we relate to each other, it's the way we make our art. It is all tainted with white supremacy. So then the idea for us as people, one, we have to acknowledge that, right? Right. We have to, one, that's acknowledge it is what it is. I think two, then it is, all right, I don't want this no more. There's a lot of people who acknowledged it, but are like, I kind of like some of these benefits of white supremacy. Right. You know what I mean? Right. So it's one, acknowledge it, and then it's two, saying, I don't want it no more, right? And I think it's the same thing with anything. And then three, it's getting busy trying to undo that out of ourselves and out of the society. Now, that's the hard part. Right, and that's what I think is... one and two have to come first before we can even get to three.
And that's what I think is the most challenging, because white people, well, I would say the American power structure has created... They made such an investment into our inferiority by killing off a lot of our leaders, and they really kind of put a lot of that acquiescence in us. Absolutely. And so now a lot of us, especially like a lot of our grandmothers, we just want to be comfortable. We don't really want no trouble. We just want to chill. But in this day and time, I don't really think that they're allowing us to do that. I see stuff all the time online. We both probably do. And so that whole, we just gonna let it be what it is, and we just gonna get along. I feel like it's coming to a point to where we're gonna have to get out of that.
Yeah, man. Look, I think we always need to get out of that. There was never a point there was never a point in history, I think in the history of this country, where going on to get along was good for black folks. Like never. From the time that we went along to get on those slave ships to get over here from, it was never a good idea for black folk to go along to get along with white people. It's just not a good idea. It's never served us well. And so the truth then is, man, like, stuff I've been hearing you rap about, man, I think one of the ways that we got to start is we got to start loving blackness again, man. It's like, it's hard too, because everything around us tells us to hate ourselves. It tells us to hate. It tells us to hate the color of our skin. It tells us to hate, you know, the music that we make, even though they steal it. It tells us to hate the food that we eat, even though they steal it. It tells us to hate the way that we talk, even though they steal it. It tells us to hate the way that we do their hair, even though they steal it. Like
Man, it's crazy.
And so I think we don't gotta go and reclaim nothing from them. Let them have that shit.
I'm with that.
You know what I mean? It's about, nah, man, we got history, we got great music, we got great food, we got great, so many great things come out of being black. And I think that first thing is like, you know, like Garvey said, and X, and so many others, man, we got to start loving black again. And that, once we do that, that softens the mind a bit. And then it allows us to maybe start hitting some of these other hurdles.
Okay, I'm with that. Okay, just going forward, I was watching something the other day with I don't know if you seen that Revolt Summit.
Oh man, I hadn't seen it, but I heard about it. Yeah.
Man, it was good, bro, and it was powerful because it wasn't a bunch of super educated people, just regular folks. You know what I'm saying? So I rock with that. But one thing that Tamika Mallory said on there that really stood out to me was she was talking about Trump and how, you know, a lot of people either caping for Trump or caping for Biden, especially, you know, right now with all this stuff going on. And, you know, they say, well, Trump has done this and Trump has done that, but a lot of us on the streets aren't seeing that. And I would go so far as to say it really doesn't matter who is in power, because either way, we haven't seen any progress in our neighborhoods in decades, you know, at all. And so what, and something else I was looking up the other day about local politics, because they say, okay, if it ain't national voting, then you do local voting. Okay, that's what they say. So I looked up who is my district representative, right?
Yeah.
I'm in District 8. And if you look across the street, bro, right over here, it's a whole lot right there, right?
Sure is, man.
80% of this lot is vacant.
Yep.
Talking about nothing but vacant businesses over there. I've been living here for about a year. Nobody has invested in it. And so I'm like, what is our representative doing when he clock in to work? And so, and I looked at the Texas representative for this part of Texas, and it seemed like the woman, what's her name, Eddie Bernice Johnson. Yep. It seems like the part that she's in control of, it just so happened to be the black parts of Dallas.
Yeah.
Just so happened. And so I'm like, what does she do when she clock in to work? And so I'm not necessarily bashing them, but what I'm saying, why do people keep making it feel like we should be excited to vote locally or nationally if either way we don't seem to be getting anything?
Yeah, because they're stupid. That's why. I mean, look, check it. I'm not saying like I said, one of our major issues is voting rights. But there is no reason for black people to be excited about voting. Now that doesn't mean that we shouldn't vote. Right. Check it, right? I ain't excited about eating my vegetables all the time, right? And your daughter ain't excited about eating her broccoli or her asparagus. You feel me?
Right.
I ain't excited. There's a whole lot of stuff that I gotta do that I ain't excited about, but I still gotta do it. Now that doesn't take away from your point, man, because your point is still made. Who are we putting in these seats is the question. Who are we like the very fact that you can be in this hood, you can look across the street, you know who your council person is, you know what I'm saying? And the very fact that they're not really moving things in this area like they should. And they've been sitting in them seats for years. You feel me?
Yeah.
And so I'm saying, yes, we have to vote. No, the people we're voting for shouldn't make us excited at all. But if we want to get excited about voting, then we're going to have to figure out something different. Right. And the thing that we got to figure out different is organizing ourselves, collectivizing our power well enough that the people who we're putting in we're sending the people to those seats who are going to fight for us, not the people who just look like us but really ain't trying to fight for us.
And see, this is why I feel like it's got to be something bigger than that. Because when I look at, because I'm from Pleasant Grove, so when I look at the district representative for Pleasant Grove, he's a Mexican, and he's from Pleasant Grove. Okay, you go through Pleasant Grove, it's so much Mexican stuff. They got Mexican grocery store, they got Mexican meat market, they got Mexican laundromat, they got Mexican businesses, they got, it's Mexicans in the Grove that I've known, and they mamas been here since the 90s, and they still don't speak English.
Yep.
How is it that you have been able to function in your neighborhood and still don't know how to speak English and you perfectly fine?
Absolutely.
But this is why I'm just confused, because their representative seems to be getting things done. But our representatives aren't doing anything.
Yeah, man.
I don't understand.
I feel you, man. So look, I'm not gonna, we won't go down the road of conspiracy theories or anything like that, man. But we'll just talk about things as they are, man. I'm gonna keep it right. So here it is. White supremacy still exists, right? It exists for me and you, and it exists for whatever representative we send to fight in the system.
I believe that.
So check it, right? So here's the thing. If we gonna send somebody into the belly of the beast to fight for us, then we need to send somebody with some. You feel me? And I'm trying, I'm trying to be cool because I said reverence, so I'm trying not to cuss a lot.
I got you.
But we gotta send somebody not somebody who just they know the right words or they got the right education, man. They ain't got nothing. Nah, man. We need to send somebody who understands the hood. We need to send somebody who understands what it means for us to get what we need and know how to maneuver in the system to make it happen for us, and somebody who is connected enough to be willing to stay accountable to the people who put them in the seat. So going back to your point about the Mexicans, check it, man. Look, I ain't again, no conspiracy theories, but a lot of people make a lot of negotiations, right? With white supremacy in order to get things in their hood. That don't mean that they're coming up.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
Because the very fact that, like I said, they got their Mexican meat market and they got this and they got that and they got their little economy. But the moment that they try to grow that thing, because Fiesta ain't owned by Mexicans. Fiesta is owned by white folk. Fiesta is owned by the same people who own Kroger, who own everything else.
Right.
And so all I'm saying is, if we gonna get what we really need as black folk, you said this in some of your other casts, man, we gotta focus on ourselves, we gotta build our own economy, but we also have to build our own voting blocks, and we gotta be able to put the people who gonna respect us and our people in power so that we can win on both sides.
And see, that takes me to my next point, but real quick, I do want to say this. When I was in college, I had wrote this essay, and I was talking about the police and how the police are not required to live in the neighborhoods that they police.
Absolutely.
Which is a big reason why they don't really have an investment into keeping the community safe. Because their kids don't live here.
Yeah.
It's like if you go to Grand Prairie and you get caught with some weed, you are going to jail.
To jail, bro.
Period. But you get caught in South Alice, or you get caught in Oak Cliff, they'll just let you go. Because they kids don't live here. You know what I'm saying? They wife don't have to live. So it doesn't matter how much drugs is here. It don't matter how the crackheads is around your stove. They don't live here. And so I feel like a big, easy way, well, maybe not easy, but a way that we can solve that particular problem about the whole voting thing is these politicians that are in charge of these neighborhoods need to live here.
Yeah.
If they lived here, I bet this place wouldn't be like this.
Yo, I mean, look, they have to live in the district, right, or in the area, right? That they, but they don't. You know what I mean? You can live like the way Dallas is set up, man. Because I agree with your point, man. It's like proximity, man. It's supposed. If you got a heart towards the people, being with the people and seeing the people get fucked over every day should light a fire under you. And that's who needs to be on our city council.
Right,
that's who needs to be our mayor.
That's who needs to be
That's
on the
who needs
school
to be on the school board.
Right.
That's who needs to be, you know what I mean, sitting in these seats. Because, like, coming down to see your people, you know what I mean? All they trying to do is go to work, love their family. You know what I mean? Be left alone. But you can't because you got to deal with the bull crap that, man, I ain't even going, I was about to start ranting. But either way, I guess all I'm saying is, man, I did what you're saying, man. I think it's more than just, it's what you're saying, living with, but it's more than just like, this is where my address is. Like, you got to be with people.
Right.
And Jesus, he may not have lived everywhere he was, but everywhere he showed up, he was with the people.
Right. He was out there.
He was with the people.
Yeah.
And if you ain't with the people, then you know what I'm saying?
Right. You know, I'm with that. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, well, piggybacking on that, I know you talked about us. We really should just be focusing on ourselves, and I'm with that. But I think a big issue with black people is multiculturalism. Sure. Because we, for some reason, feel as though there is a problem being just about black. You know, we feel that we have we feel the need to include everybody else in our stuff out of fear of being called racist. And just, thinking logically, how can we ever empower ourselves, including everybody else? We need to, in my opinion, we need to separate, regroup, figure out what we're doing, and then we can come back to the table. But how are we gonna get anything done, including everybody else?
Yeah, man. I dig what you're saying, man. And I'm gonna just use some different words because, for whatever reason, using different words click with people's psyche a little different. Mm-hmm. Instead of saying separate, I say we just need to mind our own business. You did a like I said, man, I watched all your shows, man. You did a show when you was talking about, the little white kid, man, the child, man, that got shot in the head, man. And that was a horrible thing, man. And that's what it's like, yeah, man, that black dude who did that was some bull.
We don't know nothing about him.
I don't know nothing about him. And I'm not gonna excommunicate myself from him because he black.
Right.
I'm gonna be like, no, man, we need to deal with that.
Right.
And somebody need to deal with that. But that's me minding my black business. Right. And what I'm saying is, to your point, it's not even about separating. We just need to mind our own business, and we need to focus on how do we begin to push blackness to be better as blackness. Here's the thing. It's not pushing blackness to be better like whiteness. And that is a difference, because we got a lot of cats coming to the hood talking about we uplifting the black race, but all they're trying to do is assimilate us into white society. Now that's totally different. We ain't talking about that. I'm talking about people who have listened to Nina Simone, people who have listened to Coltrane, people who have read, Huey Newton, people who can understand King and Ella Baker and Fannie Lou Hamer, people who can understand who we are as black people, and make that make sense for us.
Right.
That's what we need. That's what we need.
Yeah, I'm with that. Okay, so I really, we ain't finna be here all day. What happened at Friendship West?
Yeah.
Of course, I got to talk about it.
Yeah, of course,
what I mean? I didn't hear about it until after the fact, but I don't know if it was a KKK rally or if it was a white supremacist rally, if it was a Trump rally. Whatever the case, these people that don't live here came down here trying to do this intimidation attempt or whatever it is that they tried to do. So I saw, and that's how I found out about you, because I saw the news story that you was in.
Oh, wow.
And I'm curious to know, do you know of any progress that Pastor Haynes is making with reallocating some of those funds from the city to the black community? Do you know of any progress that he's made with that? And if he has, then what exactly in your mind do you think those funds need to be going to?
Yeah, man, I appreciate that question. So I'll say first, Our City, Our Future. Go to OCOFDallas.com. That's OCOFDallas.com. Our City, Our Future. It's a group that was actually started by a number of sisters, some black, Mexican, and some others. But they've been working actually for the last 2 years or so, man, on looking at our city's budget and basically showing that 60% of our budget goes towards public safety, and 60% of that 60% is policing. So hear what I just said. So I'm gonna say it one more time so people get that. 60% of our city's budget, that means our tax dollars that pay for everything that goes down in our city, your streets, your roads, your school, everything. 60% of that goes to a bucket called public safety. 60% of that 60% goes directly to policing.
That's crazy.
So what we're saying is we obviously more police ain't helping black folk.
Right.
Obviously more police ain't helping us put food in our food on our table, money in our pockets, helping our kids get good education. So what we're saying is we've been putting our money in the wrong place. The Bible says where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Right? And so basically where we put our money, where you put your money where your mouth is.
Right.
So we can talk equity, we can talk racial equality, we can talk all that kind of stuff. But as long as our city is still taking our money and putting it directly into policing, while policing is killing us, shooting us, jailing us, and locking us up, then it ain't doing nothing for us. And that's the message that Doc Haynes, myself, Dallas Black Clergy, Our City, Our Future, and other people are trying to tell. Where we are on that, man, you talked about these city council folk, man. They weak and they cowards. Man, we've been doing this work for the last 2 years. Our City, Our Future has been doing it. Dallas Black Clergy, we've been helping out, man. But we've done local town halls across, different areas, talking to different people and asking people, how do you want to see, hundreds of $1 million allocated in your community? Well, people came up with some really great stuff. We said, we want 24-hour community centers. Right?
I'm with that.
Because, look, our kids need somewhere to go. And it needs to be open 24 hours. You know what I mean? We need more funding, right, in our education. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, our kids need to be able to be educated better, right? We need funding in the infrastructure. We ain't got plumbing, roads, good water, all kinds of stuff that the city is supposed to take care of, that needs to happen in our city. We need all kinds of things. Like, we need workers programs, right? Help people get entrepreneurship, helping people to get jobs, helping people put money in their pockets. This is where we're saying we need that money to go instead of spending more money on policing. However, our city and our city manager, who is black, decided that they not down for that, and they proposed a budget that puts more money into policing, actually. That puts $20 million more money into policing. And while San Francisco has put $165 million, taking it out of policing and put it directly into addressing the disparities in black communities. San Francisco did this. Austin, down the street, their city council just passed 110 or 115 million that they're going to take from policing and put into the needs of the community. Our city can do the same thing. Our city must do the same thing. And we have through September to make our city do it. And the only way they're going to do it is if we speak up and if we tell our city council person, if you don't vote, if you don't put forward a budget that defunds police significantly and reallocates that money into the things that are going to stop us from getting shot and killed and hungry and uneducated, then we ain't voting for you next time.
I'm with
that. So I would say that's what the big problem is. And this is what people like myself, Dr. Haynes, all those who are involved in Dallas Black Clergy, and especially those sisters who are really leading the fight with Our City, Our Future. Again, OCOFDallas.com. Go and check them out.
So, man, that's about it, man. Y'all holler at him, named Edwin Robinson.
Yeah, man.
Get with him and holler at me.
Yeah, man. Holler at me. Oh, and you can check me out on IG or or Twitter if you want to, at Edwin for the Humans. That's Edwin, the number 4, the Humans. Yo, and check my man out. If y'all watching this and you and enjoying it, share it. Check out his other videos. He is really talking black. I don't even care. You ain't got to agree with everything my man is saying, but yo, listen. Because my man is he's talking straight from where he comes from, man, and that's why I ain't got no problem kicking it with him.
All right, so peace and black power.